the hard
Clemson lost
season.
an AC game last night.
How do you make Big Ten into
You have
like
an AC versus AC game.
into an acronym?
AC versus SEC.
Well, I mean, y'all, the Big Ten and the Big 12 just exist as lies.
P12.
Y'all exist as lies because you don't have as many teams as you claim to have, or you have more teams than you claim to have.
Yeah, I know it's very
Was
strange.
it 14 in the Big Ten now?
I think so.
I wondered
that's
that.
it.
Why do they call it the Big Ten?
Because they have
It's
name.
not
They have
10.
name equity in it.
Oh, okay. I was about to say it's not 10 teams in the Big
They're
Ten.
like, we've got this. We have this really cool logo where it goes B1G, and it kind
Yeah.
of looks like a big and a B and a 10, and it's big, and it's we couldn't get away from that. Plus, Big 14 doesn't sound as cool.
Nah, it doesn't.
I don't think.
Is it 14 or 12 in the Big 10?
Pretty sure there's
Are
12.
they actually the Big 12?
There was,
Hmm.
I think there was 12 before they added Nebraska and no. There was 12 before they added Maryland and Rutgers. Sorry, they're so unimportant. I always forget about them. But
14.
yeah,
Dang it.
there was 11 before Nebraska because I believe Penn State was the 11th member in like
So there was a
1994.
time when the Big 10 was the Big 12.
Yeah, for like, and what's funny is they took a team from the Big 12 to make the Big 10 the Big 12.
And the Big 12
Yeah,
will actually go back to being the Big 12 when
I don't
Texas and
know.
Oklahoma leave, I think.
there's so much going on with the Big 12 right now that I
At
can't
least the
even keep track.
Pac-10, they stand put. They're like, listen, we were the Pac-10, now we're the Pac-12.
Good for them. They changed their name. How has that helped them in like on the field
At least
progress?
they're honest.
Consistent.
Yeah, they don't
I
like
guess.
the Big 10.
Are they consistent? Because
Or
they changed the
is
name.
the Big 10 just one like a thing where they're like, listen, if you're not one of the top 10 teams, you're not actually a part of the conference. You're relegated.
Like Rutgers.
I would like that. Yeah.
Rutgers.
Whatever,
actually would
but
kind of
Rutgers
enjoy
is
that.
actually
Rutgers
decent
is
this year.
3-1. They took Michigan to the edge last week.
Yeah, they're decent, but like Rutgers, what's another?
Rutgers
kinda
is the
below
birthplace of
average?
college football, Cam.
Can we not talk about Rutgers or
Illinois.
Michigan? Like that's actually I went around the office. I was like, that is the most underrated thing of this year is no one's really talked about Michigan, and I
Yeah.
love it because that's
Because
where
they're
they
not
should be.
fun.
They're not fun
Yeah.
and they're unimportant. Like
They
we
might
put this
lose
we put this
Saturday.
brand
Michigan
on
is the
them.
Auburn of the Big 10.
Yeah,
They
Ouch.
beat some bad teams,
right.
and now when they actually start playing good teams, they're going to get.
They play
smoked.
Wisconsin. They might lose.
I
No,
don't know.
I think that's what's hilarious is Michigan's 4-0, Wisconsin's 1-3.
what they might be 2-2.
Well,
They
yeah,
haven't lost
one?
3 games.
Nah, I don't think they've lost.
Lost to
three.
Notre
Let's
Dame,
see.
Lost to Notre Dame and Penn State.
lost to Penn State. I think they lost another one.
Really?
Let's
In between there?
see.
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, they're 1-2.
Oh, so they
1
had
and
a
2,
bye
yeah.
week in there.
Yeah, they're 1-2,
Gotcha.
and so but they are 1-2. Michigan's undefeated, and Michigan's an underdog in that game.
And Michigan's number 14.
And Michigan's an underdog in that game.
They are, and
Well,
it's
good.
it's a noon game.
Good.
Perfect.
Oh, I'm
I
happy
love
to
those
see
new
that.
now Big Ten new games. They've been killing it all year long.
Well, I mean,
It's been
but
good.
I
they do
think
that
we're-
on purpose. They have
Yeah.
that's why I call it Big Noon Saturday is because
Well, true.
the Big
Yeah.
Ten and Fox kind of realized SEC has 3:30 locked up or on CBS.
Yeah.
ESPN has 7:30 locked up
Mhm.
with Saturday Night Football, and then or it's the primetime game. So like, all right, we need a spot where they're all going to be watching Fox because we're getting smoked right now. And so they're like, oh, Big Noon Saturday.
They've
So
been
much
pretty
for that
good,
this
though.
week. They've been pretty good so
What is
far.
what
So
is
much
big,
for that
what
this
is
week.
Big Noon Saturday this week?
I'm saying it's probably
It's Michigan and
Michigan,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Who's watching that? No, I know we're watching
I don't
Georgia,
think nobody's
Arkansas.
Watching that.
I would argue that like people in Pennsylvania and Ohio, they're watching Arkansas and Georgia
True.
because that's a hell of a football game.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Let's see. Big Noon Saturday.
I'm just happy. I think we fought
Who's
finally.
Penn State got?
We get revenge on Indiana.
Oh,
Hopefully,
that's right. The Michael Penix.
yes, the stripe out. Hopefully, we beat them. It's a nighttime game in Happy Valley. Hopefully, we beat them like 70-7. That's what I'm looking for.
I mean, Big Noon Saturday has been pretty good so far because you had Wisconsin, Penn State, I believe, to start the year.
Yeah.
You had Oregon, Ohio State.
Yeah,
I think we had
solid
like
down the
I think
wire
we had
game.
like 3 kind of kickoff shows at Soldier Field last week.
right.
So I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Big Noon Saturday was there,
Mhm.
Game Day was there, and the Barstool
Right. True.
one
A
is like,
Yeah.
come on, guys, let's spread it out a little bit.
little bit. They've
literally
done a
no-
good job of
literally
that so
no-
far. but-
Literally none of them on a college campus.
Right. Everyone at Soldier Field. And we talked about it, just ridiculous. If someone get to a college campus, there's so much more lively and fun.
Well, they'll be in Athens this weekend, and apparently they are moving the set. We kind of talked about this. They're
Yeah.
going to be in Myers Quad to start from like 9 to 11. I think from 11 to noon, they're going to be in the west end zone. So Herb Street can scoot out after the picks, run up the stairs, and get on the broadcast. How stressful do you think that is, PJ? You do games.
Oh God. Well,
Like
I
going
mean,
from doing a 3-hour broadcast directly into doing the game.
I'd say it is stressful once you get, but then again, I'd say it's very different if it's I did something like this. Well, we did something like this with high school game day for a while there, where we're on site and we're doing everything. We're making the picks and stuff, and then you literally take all your equipment to the press box as soon as possible. So no, that was crazy. What I didn't have, which Kirk Herbstreit will most certainly have, is guys moving people out of the way for him. Hey, Kirk, here's this. Hey, here's this. Hey, this is exactly where you go. All right, sit down and get ready to go. But either way, mentally, it is a challenge,
Right.
Thankfully, if you're talking about two different things, that's one thing. But thankfully, his mindset's already on college football the whole time. Normally they talk about that main featured game for the last 20 minutes or so, and then they make their picks, which I'm sure, I don't know if he'll be there for the picks segment. I'm sure he'll leave a little bit early there even. But it is interesting to get your mindset changed. But then again, I'll say once you get that microphone in front of you, once you sit next to whoever you're sitting next to and get in the football stadium, it's really hard to think about anything else but the game right in front of you. So
I think it's going to be fascinating. You're
kind
going
of
to be
age
like,
your mindset.
it's going to be like Mississippi State, Texas A&M. Give us your score prediction. All right, we need Michigan and Wisconsin. We need your score prediction. All right, Georgia, Arkansas. Oh, we can't do Georgia, Arkansas because you're on the broadcast. Like, all right, you better get up there because they're kicking off. Go.
Yeah, get out of
like,
here.
literally last week during the game, you could see them. They were sitting in the end zone, and Notre Dame came running on the field while they were like halfway through the pick segment.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's cool. It's kind of cool though.
Yeah,
Kirk Street.
Yeah,
that's
Well,
cool.
that's the GOAT.
I love the energy of that. Like, no, I will say they are doing a very good job of that because, from the picks, either you're out in the stands, whatnot, or when you're in the stadium, you have the entrances happening, you have the energy of the state. I do enjoy that quite a bit. Like, don't have the whole show out there, but I do enjoy having the pick segment. If there's a way to make that happen more often on these shows, I think it's a great energy to be able to make those.
You got to be at the noon. You got to be at the noon games.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're
Kevin
not doing
said
that
this.
at 7 o'clock.
That used to be the norm. Is the noon games used to be the big games. So
right.
We got more to come though. Again, shortened show here on Second Down. We're going to dive into the Braves. They are one game away from clinching up the NL East and sending the Phillies home real upset. I think now the Braves would have to lose out and the Phillies would have to win out.
Right.
That would be
for
really
them to
Atlanta.
win the division. So
that would be really
go
really
ahead
Atlanta
and knock it out. Take the division tonight so we don't have any suspense over the weekend. We got more to come here on Second Down. We'll be right back after this. I mean, PJ, do you want to explain to Cam our thoughts on Imagine Dragons? Why'd you turn it off so quick, Cam? Let it run. Let it run.
Hey, look.
Go ahead. I mean, PJ, do you want to explain the Imagine Dragons thoughts to him?
I mean, it depends on what thoughts you have.
I mean, we generally
right.
no. I mean, we generally don't ever listen to them. I mean, Cam's vibing right now.
This is awesome.
I asked him, I was like, really, Imagine Dragons? I love this song.
Yes.
Literally the last 4 years on
Yeah.
ESPN, it's
Yeah.
been Imagine Dragons is the song that they do, like where it's like the primetime game.
Oh, yeah,
so like
yeah,
throughout the
That-
week,
preview
it's
game,
been
yeah.
oh, you're a champion.
Yeah, that's Fault Boys. I remember that
Yeah,
song.
so it's just like it's either
I love
them
that
or
song.
Imagine Dragons, and it's just
Well, even like
Centuries.
that's kind of the problem, right? Is like Centuries was a good song. I enjoyed Centuries, and
until
then
they play it 19 times
and
a
then
day.
you hear that, and
for an
it's
entire
it's
season.
the same part, and it's always on, and I cannot listen to that song anymore. And I'll say with Imagine Dragons, they did something similar.
All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
enough. That's enough.
They did something similar,
What is
but
this, 2010?
I think they did. Was it Radio? They did one of them first, and then the next year they did
It was
the
radioactive.
Natural
first.
song,
Yeah.
and that was just a bad college football song. Like, I'm sorry, that was just not a good song for a football promo. There wasn't enough energy in it or
I will
anything like
tell
that. I
you,
thought it was very odd selection.
Radioactive is catchy, but I used to watch sci-fi, which I watched a show called Defiance. I don't know if you guys ever heard of
Okay,
Defiance.
I've seen like
and
trailers
they
for
used
it and
to,
stuff.
yeah, they used to
not.
play Radioactive,
Right.
like as their
I
little
got you.
intro. So
Yeah.
it's so catchy. I love the song. I can't lie, and I like Centuries. It's cool. I love that song too.
And let's.
How do
Fun
you guys
fact.
feel about the SEC Network Luke Combs song?
Oh, that's so bad.
What
Come
song?
on,
No, that's
put
bad.
a little south on you.
No,
Nah.
that came up
Okay, I
on
know what
my
you're talking about now. No.
like there's like a new releases thing on the app on the music app I listen to, and that came on, and I just started laughing when I skipped it. Like, no, that's never gonna happen. It sounds
I mean, the greatest like
there's so
intro
many
song-
different reasons why
the
it's
greatest
bad.
intro song
I'll
of all
put that.
time is like the OG Game Day songs with
Oh,
Big
absolutely.
and Rich.
Yeah, that
And
was
even when they
incredible.
added the cowboy rapper,
yes,
I even thought that was cool. But they've changed
I have
it
no
up
idea
a
who it is.
lot now.
Yeah.
Cowboy Troy. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin.
from the rafters.
Yeah,
Bring
from
it
the
back.
Rafters, Kevin Thomas, Cowboy Troy. But I mean, those were the OG ones where it's just like they spanned the college football landscape,
Yep.
and it's like you're just waiting for the line about your team.
Yeah, you're waiting for the line about your team. You're waiting for like if those were the tough years. So
The line I do remember, which makes me mad because there are two teams I vehemently dislike, is heading north to see them, Buckeyes and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Makes me upset. Those are the lines I remember.
Yeah.
Victory for USC, Bulldogs barking at the Wolverines, hook 'em horns and give me some Rocky Top Tennessee. Let's
there you
go.
Okay, let's go. What is going on? We got Big
Sorry,
and Rich in here.
I just unlocked a file in my mind that hasn't been touched in
Yeah,
a long
It's
time.
incredible. I love when that happens. But like, no, you're right. That is one of the best ways. Or like when you see a highlight of your team from the week before while it's going, you're like, oh god.
Cam, would you say
That's
that you want a
awesome
little
moment,
zig
too.
with your zing zang? You want a little yin with your yin yang?
No.
Why wouldn't you? Oh,
It's for one that's
want a little
confusing
ting
me
with your ting
already.
tang
That's
come
giving me a
along?
headache.
I don't know.
I
man.
haven't ate today. That's giving me a headache.
They're coming to
already.
your city. That's all I'm saying.
I really wonder if they got and they were like, "Hey,
I
we
hope
need
they
we need a 45-second intro song." They're like, "All right, we got it." And they made like 30, and they're like,
Yeah.
we need 15 seconds.
This is
You want a little zing with your zing zang?"
Oh, but what's great is that's in the actual song. Like
No,
that's
it's 1000%
Well,
YouTube.
which
It's
is-
YouTube it.
all that album, man.
I
want-
literally that's the only song I've
You want
ever-
some good like crazy music to listen to though at the same time. Go to Big and Rich and listen to that album. It's
I think
wild.
the only other song I've heard from Big and Rich is the "Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy" song.
Which again will show you just how wild and crazy Big and Rich can be. Which at the end, I mean, the video for that song was even more ridiculous and crazy.
Well,
You'll
hold
love
on.
at
I
the
do want to
end-
dive here because we're kind of teetering on this territory now. To you, what is the ultimate NASCAR song? Because for those of you who don't know, PJ Zuko hosts Green, White, and Checkered on Sunday mornings.
That's
What is the ultimate NASCAR song? Because I got really happy yesterday because the Braves, their magic number was 3, And so like literally Braves country was just throwing up Dale Earnhardt gifts everywhere.
As they should. That's amazing.
What is the ultimate NASCAR song? Because there's a lot from like different movies where it's like the driver is just like slingshot engaged,
Well, the
mowing
worst part
people
of this
down.
is like
What song is playing?
I have to not go with the first one I think of because it has nothing to do with actual NASCAR. Like,
Well, the song itself doesn't have to do with NASCAR. It's just what's the ultimate NASCAR song?
well, here's the thing.
Are there songs that are solely about NASCAR?
Not really, but
Okay.
as I was growing up,
Cam, who's your favorite NASCAR driver?
there's only one answer to that.
Hopefully I say the right answer.
Nah, man, it doesn't
What's his name? Dale.
Just stop right there. You're
What's
right.
his name?
Correct.
Dale.
Nailed it.
That's
Earnhardt.
right.
You just don't even.
If you say Jarrett,
No, he said Earnhardt.
no, but
Yeah.
Correct.
The reasoning behind
Junior or senior?
Junior.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. I'm still waiting on that.
No, we talk about senior around here. 3.
That's it. Still waiting on
Hey, man.
Junior to name one of his
That's the
children.
only
Dale
NASCAR
Jr.
driver I
Junior,
know.
junior.
Yeah, I
It's
tweet
not
him
the third. It's junior, junior.
every time they announce a new child. I tweet at him every time. I haven't got a like yet or a retweet.
That's
nothing.
fine. Just keep
It's
it
got
going.
to be Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Keep
Jr.
going.
But no, I mean it's because, and it's a terrible reason. But when I was growing up, like there was this NASCAR video game we played all the time, and the only song on it, the only song they put on the soundtrack was "Sweet Home Alabama." So, like that was like
That was it.
that was like the soundtrack of
Was
my
that
NASCAR
was it the only
childhood.
song, or did like somebody go into the settings
I
in your
think-
game
I think
and
probably yeah.
and uncheck all the other songs except for "Sweet Home Alabama"?
I think
Because
probably
I did the same.
my
thing.
dad did that.
I
most
had
likely.
what was it called? NASCAR? Like was it just called NASCAR like '96 or whatever?
Are you ready for this?
What was it called?
NASCAR Lightning 2002.
See, I had the ones like where literally it came in the CD case.
Yeah.
For the PlayStation,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and I used to play it all the time. And I remember the first time I won like the Coca-Cola 600,
Oh man,
I was amped
it's electric.
because
Yeah,
I didn't do no like 20 lap races. I was getting after it.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing 600 laps, but I think I was doing like the 50% of the laps. So I mean like 300 laps.
right.
What's the fastest
incredible.
y'all have been in a car? Like,
Well, I mean now that's a different tangent, but hold on. I want to answer that, but no, we can't answer that because then you're just admitting to breaking the law.
Right. I sound like
yeah, I was.
You a
I
cop?
would.
Should we do
You a
this?
cop?
No, my dad
you-
used to be a cop.
you a
I
cop?
can admit that.
Because you
But I know my
you were in a
parents
wire?
are watching. So
because we're literally talking into 3 wires right now.
yeah, I know my parents are watching. So I definitely. Well, they pretty much know.
They
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
No,
they
I
know.
mean, but no, I did the same thing with like checking and unchecking boxes for songs, and literally the only song I had left, I think it was like a NASCAR '96, and I'll have to look and see what the actual name of it was, but it was Molly Hatchet, "Flirting with Disaster."
Yeah.
And literally on repeat while I drove.
Well, hey, that's a good segue. And if you want to listen to that song and some great NASCAR content, listen to Green White Checkered every Sunday
use
morning from
Molly
9 to
Hatchet?
9:30. Yeah,
Flirting
exactly.
with Disaster. I just listened to the podcast version, so you obviously can't use that song there.
Right.
But
No, understandable. No, you put me onto that. You were like,
Good.
"What about this?" And I listened to it, and I was like, "That's perfect." Yeah. No, that's perfect. Let's get going.
Amped up. So you can get some Rich Styles in your life with some Back Nine Boys.
Yep.
And you get some PJ Zuko in your life. So you're going from golf to NASCAR. That's an interesting switch.
Interesting, but not the strangest in the world. I mean, there's been other crazier ones, but I think
No,
it's, I think it's
I have
natural.
family members who would like literally sit on the couch all day on Sundays. It was golf and NASCAR.
Yeah.
And my stepdad growing up, he had like this surround sound in the living room. And when NASCAR and when the Georgia games came on, it was surround sound.
Let's even when it we crank it up.
Dude, the living room was vibrating. And but what's hilarious is it's really cool for like the first 3 laps, but once you get like to lap like 80 of 250, you're like,
You got a headache. And
well, it's not even that. It's just really loud white noise.
yeah.
Vroom. Vroom, 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 vroom. And then you're just like,
All right.
and
yeah.
then like 2 minutes later, the announcers will talk again.
Yep. And they're just blaring because you have
Oh,
it turned up all the way. And so they're just,
Yeah, like, wow, Stan coming around the edge right there. And you got to get 2 tires on this turn.
yep. No, it can be rough. It can be rough for sure. That's even worse when, like I said, they have someone spinning and just yell into the, like that. I will say Dale Jr., I do enjoy.
Is he
my favorite
the
driver.
Tony Romo of NASCAR announcers now?
I wouldn't say that. No, he doesn't really do the whole predict thing, but he's a very good broadcaster. I believe he does have obviously a lot of information and whatnot to share, but he's also very genuine. Like that's what I like about. He's not hiding who he is or anything like that. So one of my favorite moments of a race while he's broadcasting is you'll have the play-by-play guy or the doing the NASCAR race, and someone will spin out or something, like he'll go to say that someone's spinning out, but in the background you'll just hear Junior go, "Oh, we got a spinner! Oh, there's Rick!" I'm just like, he just can't control himself.
Well, that makes me happy
hilarious
because it sounds like the old radio announcers for football games where it's like all of the TV announcers are very polished.
Yeah.
But the radio announcers for football, like you'll still have the person saying, "Oh, they're gonna catch that, they're gonna win the football game," and they just have like the color guys in the background that's going,
yeah, yep. One of the best calls was Kyle Larson trying to beat Kyle Busch at Chicago.
Of course,
I think it was his first race as a broadcaster with a slide job, and you have the play-by-play guy telling what's happening. Oh, and he's diving down, and you just have Junior in the background going, "Slide job, slide job." It's like. Like Junior.
That makes me happy, and I want to hear that audio.
It's hilarious.
We do need to talk some college football here quickly. We got the Sean Quinn show coming up next year. Two massive SEC, more than two, but two marquee SEC matchups coming up because we have a lot of big games. You have Kentucky, Florida. You have Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Auburn, LSU's this weekend. That is a marquee matchup. But because of how good some of the other games are in the league this week, it's honestly kind of gotten pushed down the fight card a little bit. Georgia, Arkansas is what you're starting with, and then 3:30 immediately following that, you have Ole Miss, Alabama. Which quarterback out of those two guys, KJ Jefferson and Matt Corral, do you guys feel like needs to have the bigger game for his team to win?
I think it's mainly on Matt Corral just because of the things we've talked about for so long with Ole Miss. I mean, you think you rely so much on that passing game. Not saying the running game isn't okay or isn't solid, but you can't rely on that for the whole game. And the defense has been better, but the defense has gotten better from bad, right? And so it's still okay, and you can't rely on that, especially against Alabama. You have to outscore them. I think with Arkansas, there's some other ways to win.
Again, we're going to get a complete preview of this coming up tomorrow. But again, Sean Quinn show coming up next year on ESPN Radio. We'll be right back after this.